I can pass any messages to your daughters because I've met all of them. I love them, and I want you to know I am team all of them.
Yes. You know what? I'm going to write a beautiful Wait a second. What you trying?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yvie, do you play Fortnite or do you just play that game?
I don't just play that game, but I also don't play Fortnite.
That's crazy. Fortnite is so much fun. I know people think it's like for the kids, but it's deeply not.
It's not for the kids. It's for everyone.
And this season currently is like they're doing a collab with The Simpsons, which I don't really understand the cultural reference because I've never watched The Simpsons. Ever. I know.
Girl, you can't even claim that's some white people shit. Yeah. Everyone in that show is yellow or brown.
Well, here's the thing. I did ask. The funny thing is, that's so funny you bring that up. I did ask. I was like, are they supposed to be black folks? Because are like the hair is textured, like Marge's hair is textured. You know, Bert, is that his name? He has a little high top fade.
But you are actually like kind of 100% right. I think The Simpsons would have been black if they didn't already add in other black characters already. They're like, oh shit, the show has no black representation.
There are black, so like it's like Cleveland. There are black people in that show.
I assume. I know they got an Indian guy.
Either way, I just am trying to find ways for us when we're not recording the show is to play the game together because I'm constantly on it. I also low-key I've been thinking about it in a real way. I think I kind of want to start streaming. I don't know what that really means or how I even start that up, but I don't know. I feel like I do it so often and I really like playing my only singular game, Fortnite.
That's kind of funny because like I've thought about streaming. But then I'm like, no, girl, it's like the same reason I like really have to hold out on ever starting an OnlyFans. Number one, contractual obligations. But that aside.
What? No, come on, don't ruin the bag.
But that aside, like, I don't know. I just like, it's a place for me to unplug from the world. Yeah. And I've already got a horrible, horrible habit of being such a slave to capitalism that everything I love, I turn into
money. I know.
Well, it's like, and not even about money. I just like turn into something serious. Like, girl, I play video games because I'm sick of real life.
No, and that is very true. But I guess I already watch a ton of streamers. Like I like my TikTok feed is of black people in church or people playing Fortnite.
Only the two.
Only the two currently. And so like I have just kind of been like, oh, what if I stream? You know, I'm always like screaming and yelling, but I don't know. It seems like really complicated. I feel like you should.
Like, Ryan,
I need a brand.
I think we are watching you transition into that gamer.
It's, you know, I don't think people realize how much of a gamer I low-key am. But am I actually a gamer if I only play one game?
If you're really annoyingly good at it, which I assume you are if you only play one game.
You know, yep, I've been growing. I've been doing
oh my God.
You know, last night I was like pulling in 10 kills a game. You know what I mean? Like,
I could never. Okay, see, but that's why I can't play Fortnite, bitch. Because, you know, at least when I hop on Call of Duty and I'm getting my pussy murdered by a bunch of boring camo dudes with their boring guns, it feels correct. I'm like, yeah, this is how the universe wants it. It's not all these fun, colorful, probably a fucking 5-year-old stomping my pussy out. Like,
actually, they are. 5-year-olds are most definitely stopping your pussy out over on Call of Duty. They are for sure.
I know, but at least they're grown enough to call me a faggot.
They are for sure. They are for sure. So wait, how have you been? You just got back from Australia. How's life? I haven't seen you in a minute. I miss your face. You look so cute.
Yeah, I miss your face. And first I would love to start by saying, I love America. I love America.
Please. In this economy?
Girl, listen. No, I feel bad because I made some issues with my visa. So like I got there and they're like, oh bitch, we gotta take this visa as fuck. And then another person walked into the room and they were like, hey sis, I heard you're here without a visa, girl. We gotta hold you until the airline gets a ticket. Yeah.
That's my worst nightmare. The first time I traveled out of the country, I like you would be questioned and being like, why are you here? And I'm like shaking my boots, being like, well, actually, why am I here? Why did I just take a 15-hour trip here?
Girl,
I don't know how to respond.
Girl, well, it's extra scary too when I legit don't know. Like they're like, so why are you here? And I'm like, I'm here to do a show. And they're like, where? And I'm like, bitch, I don't know.
Yeah, because that's the thing about Yvie. Yvie don't know nothing about her calendar until the moment she has to be at said thing.
Well, yeah, because like, why would I? My brain only gets so much space right now. I'm using 90% of it to focus on not making fun of your Australian accent.
Which, oh my God, that just made me realize I think I'm the type A of the group and you're the type B of the group. Like us.
I mean, I agree.
I think put two and two together, but for sure, I'm most definitely like more of the planner. You're just most definitely like the show up,
girl. Like that is why I was stressing about that yard sale birthday party, is because I, for some stupid reason, locked myself into it publicly a month before. But how have you been, Ryan? Not an international lockdown.
If only. I wish that would be my dream. No, actually, I've been pretty good. You know. Halloween was interesting for me because I have to admit this. I did not dress up as anything. I was so
fucking knew
I know.
it.
I had a few ideas and I just kept waiting last minute and it never happened. And then I was like, let me go into my closet and pull out this like old, cute, like low-key naked crop top, jersey football player outfit that I wore 2 years ago. Maybe I can do that again. But for some reason, I just was not feeling it. And so I didn't end up going to a Halloween party that I was supposed to go to. And I was really, I felt kind of bad about it because my friends were there and they were like, Ryan, what's going on? And I look, he was like ghosting them. I was just like, I'll talk to them in the morning and tell them that I was taking everything. Why do you just go as a ghost? I always forget. I don't have white sheets.
Girl, no one has white sheets. Use a trash bag.
Oh, I guess I never thought about that. Here's the thing. There's a pressure when you're going to a Halloween party out here and probably everywhere, especially when it's like a known Halloween party and the girls are like spending all of this money or all this experience. Like they're planning in advance for a fire ass like costume. And for
but if you like know that that's not gonna be you, girl, you gotta have fun with it. And if I went as a little trash bag ghost, which I only thought of after Halloween, I probably would have had so much more fun for 90% of Halloween. And that's why I'm mad, because I spent, girl, having my original Halloween plans unvisaed. I did get go to a rave, but like I got back.
What was your outfit again?
I was a Starmie.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
But the thing that ticks me off is you're like, it was so last minute.
It was.
Bitch, I made that Starmie costume that day.
Girl, because you're a drag queen and you know how to do that shit. I can barely tie my shoe. I'm like, I am not a craft girly. I got so stressed. And then I was supposed to go to WeHo because I was like, okay, since I missed the party, I'll meet them at WeHo and like do the thing. I most definitely didn't do that because that was going to be the worst idea. I looked at all the videos and the photos of WeHo on Halloween night. No. I'd rather die. Honestly, there's nothing more comforting than death than going to WeHo on Halloween night. And there was hour-long waits and there was just no way. And so I actually ended up just chilling in the house, playing the game. And it was actually kind of nice, but I did feel bad. I want to do Halloween Up.
We're going to do Halloween Up next year, but also I don't blame you because something about going out to the rave, even dressed as the cuntiest mega Starmie in the world, felt like, girl, the universe just sent your ass all the way across the world to send it back. You should have been on a couch. So I left early, like 8 a.m. But luckily, the universe does just keep sending us blessings because today we have someone I am so excited to talk to on the show.
I am too, and she's kind of been in quite the in everyone's mouths lately. I mean, this queen she's everything. Shea Couleé.
I hope y'all are ready.
It's gonna be a good one. I think y'all better stick around for this one. Shea Couleé is on HighKey up next. Anyway, so everyone that's listening, a little tea here, because obviously we've been working on HighKey for a minute, and if you did not know, Shea Couleé was almost one of the HighKey hosts before, Marvel called and said, "I got a Marvel check for you," and Ironheart came and dropped one. And we said, honestly, sister, take the Marvel check, please take it. But you know her as Drag Race royalty, All Stars 5 winner, top 4 on all winners, Chicago legend, DJ, designer, podcaster. I mean, the list goes on, and honestly, it's literally just so iconic, and I'm so happy that we were finally able to have you on the show. So welcome to HighKey, Shea
Yes,
Couleé.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so excited to sit down and chat with y'all because I truly do. I love and respect and appreciate the both of y'all. So I'm really excited to get into it and have a great conversation.
Hey, well, welcome to the madhouse you almost bought into.
No, dead ass, because
Bitch, I already got one mortgage. That's enough.
But I guess I kind of want to start there though. Like, how was the whole Marvel experience? I mean, do you feel like it kind of shifted you into an era of your life that you really wanted to, like, I guess, experience, and you're still experiencing? What does it still feel like being a part of that world right now?
Yeah, and what does it feel like living my childhood dream?
I mean, it's so fucking cool. And your character was cool because at first I thought you were just going to, like, show up as, like, a drag queen in that space, as often these shows do. And the fact that you were, like, a badass and you were, like, tech. I mean, you were giving Kim Possible, whatever his name is that sits behind the computer. Yes. Well, no, is he the black one that sits behind the computer and does
actually,
all
no, Ron is the white one.
Yeah, Ron was the one with the
that
hamster.
was voiced by Taj Mowry.
Yeah.
We don't call him Taj.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like that's fair.
It's so cool, though. It was really, really cool to see you in that role.
Thank you.
No, but talk to us a little bit about how, I guess, being a Marvel girl has, like, changed your life, if it has.
I honestly, for me, it hasn't really changed much.
Yeah.
I thought, like, hopefully I'd be like, oh, people will see the work and the auditions will be coming in. They haven't. And that's just this business, you know what I'm saying? But what I will say is, now kind of like being introduced to the Marvel fandom, I've been able to have interactions with people that wouldn't have necessarily, I guess, imagined a character like mine. I've gotten some really sweet DMs from people that were like, I didn't even know, like, a character like Slug was, like, something that was really possible. And then I saw it. And they're like, that was just, like, really inspiring to me because they're like, as a queer Black nerd, I just never really would have thought that I would have gotten that kind of representation. And that's been really meaningful.
Yeah.
And then
Honestly,
also
it is though, girl. I'm one of those young queer Black nerds. Like, I thought I was literally alone in the world. I kept drawing boobs to keep myself alive and make sure my X-Men did all the social work with my peers for me. But like for real, I'm actually curious. Because you talked about the kind of character that, like, Slug is and has meant for people, but you've also said that your version of Slug is like different from what we see in the comics. Like, what is the most you part that you were able to inject?
Ooh, I mean, honestly, there's so much. What I loved about, so first of all, have to give a shout out to my girl, Sam Bailey. We've been friends since we were 18 years old. She directed episodes 1 through 3. And I was actually living on her couch when I started drag.
Oh, wait, so is that how you got the gig?
Yeah, so I was chilling, minding my own business. And then I get this email that's like, hey, Marvel reached out seeing if you had availability for these months. And I was just like, I mean, if Marvel's hit me up, I can be available. Like, what is this about?
Cancel grandma's birthday.
I'm donating my 3rd child.
Yeah, girl, I could be available. Okay, trust.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I have been talking with Sam. She has mostly done television, so she's directed on, like, Dear White People. And I remember, because our birthday's around the same time, this was like February of 2022. And right before that, I was in LA. She was like, yeah, I'm pitching for this like action series, but you know, I'm up against like a lot more established directors. I don't think that I'm going to get it, but it's like starring like a Black girl. And she's like, I think that they would be really cool. And she's like, so, you know, I'm going to try and put together a deck and pitch it. But she's just like, we'll just see.
Yeah.
I was like, hey girl, we're going on a little birthday trip. Do you want to come? And she's like, I can't go because I have to go out to Atlanta to start prepping on this show. Didn't say what show. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, that's like her tea. I get back from this trip and that's when I get that email being like, can you be available for Marvel? And I was just so like, ooh. Now, if 2 + 2 is 4.
If Johnny had 5 apples.
Right. Because I was like, why isn't Marvel just calling out of nowhere? And so I literally FaceTimed her because I was like, I know how these things work. I was like, I ain't going to put nothing in text. I FaceTimed her and I was like, bitch, are you directing a Marvel series? And she was like, ooh.
Even my phone is
like,
tapped.
did you put my name out on the table? And she was like,
oh my god.
and I was like, okay. She's like, all I did was suggest you. She was just all like, you know, so she's like, just audition. She's like, and fingers crossed, you know, she's like, I don't get final say, but I can, you know, recommend you. So I got the self-tape script and everything. And the scene was this one after we've done this heist and we're doing this whole like money shower and we're all like counting all of our money.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I was just like, I remember there was an acting teacher that I had, Majika Patari. And she was like, she would do casting too. And she's like, I'm just going to be honest, y'all. She's like, casting directors and people are lazy. They don't want to think too hard. They want you to be able to like make everything easy. So I said, okay, well, unlike most actors, I have a closet to pull from. I put on this whole black tactical like gear outfit.
Yeah.
And I went and grabbed my duffel bag full of tips. And I was sitting there counting my change and I did like my smoky eye and I did my nails because I was like, I want to show you like a hacker that you've never seen before. Like, let me put together a look for this audition.
I mean, bitch.
I was just like, why not? Because I was like, at least be interesting for them to watch.
Because no one else probably auditioning for that role probably thought in depth as you did. Yeah, that's crazy. HighKey.
I'm curious because I feel like a lot about your brand identity, at least as I came to learn it as a fan before Drag Race and then on Drag Race, was encompassing Black excellence. And I'm very curious because I feel like right now we're at this point in society where people want trash. Legit.
Yeah.
Are just stripping it away, right? I think it's just not. Girl, nobody. The stress and the harm that low-key, like the idea of excellence creats is just not even worth it anymore.
Well, that's what I'm a little curious about because, like, everybody says it. Your lips have said it. My mind has said it. My mom has said it. Like, you do carry yourself with such excellence, and I'm curious how you feel bringing that into a trashy era.
Oh my God.
What does it still mean for you?
My era of like wanting to strip back that perception of excellence to allow people to see the human behind that, because it's hard to keep up with. Like when I went into like, the realm of Drag Race and everything, it wasn't, I didn't go with this idea of I'm going to encompass Black excellence.
Yeah, like your brand planned out.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go and do my very best, and show my best self, the best way that I could. And to push myself to try and live up to my own potential. And that show really, really puts you through it. And there's moments where you want to just kind of like fall back and like back out in ways. And I was just like, no, just like keep pushing. See what it is that you can do when you are really under pressure. And, the result was what we saw. And, everyone's just like, oh, she is Black excellence. She's this and that. And at first I was just like, oh my God, that is so wonderful. But then You
The
get to
pressure.
a point
You
where you're
feel the
like,
weight.
every single thing I do must be excellent because that's my brand. And it's hard to live up to that. I'm like, can I be a little messy too?
Okay.
Well, did you feel misunderstood through that? Like, did that perception of people thinking you were just like perfect all the time? Did that ultimately create this misunderstanding of you?
I think so. I think it's like Drag Race in and of itself. It's like I describe it as being like, you know, a peephole when you're like looking at your hotel room door. You know, you can see only so much, but it's not everything. You're getting such a tiny, concentrated version of me. But as a total person, as a total artist, I am so much more than that. And it's like once I got out there and there was like this perception of like, oh my God, you know, she's so excellent and everything comes easy to her. It kind of created this pressure that everything that I did needed to be excellent. And then and because there's so many eyes, like I couldn't make mistakes. I couldn't be messy. I couldn't show people.
Well, there's a codeness. People think you're cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like it has, I don't know. I feel like it's made me a little bit more internal in the way that I approach doing my art, because I feel like, especially in the beginnings of anything, in the process of making art, you are making mistakes, you're learning, and that's part of the journey. But when you are on this platform and you're making mistakes, people are quick to, you know, talk about their opinions and make judgments based on those mistakes versus, you know, just simple observations. And then they bring those opinions right to your social media, right in your comment section, right in your DMs. And, you know, I'm an artist, so I'm sensitive about my shit.
Come on, Erica.
And it makes you like nervous and hesitant to put things out there because you're all like, what if it's not received well because it's not excellent? And
that's really relatable.
I've like finally have started getting to this place, like really like this year, where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to have to let them see me be messy. And I'm going to have to let them see me be imperfect. I'm an Aquarius.
Oh, you're my sister sign. I'm a Leo.
I like that you called it sister sign, and I'm like, that's why that bitch is so weird. I don't understand you.
No, and I think there's also an assumption about Aquarius specifically, where like people think they're weird, like people think they act weird, like people think they're standoffish, but really they just be in their own worlds, and like it's not even like an intentional thing. And I've had to learn that about Aquariuses because oftentimes I've run into Aquariuses and I've been like, girl, like, why you got a stank vibe? But really, it's not even that. They just really like internal.
It's a little bit, and it's not even like we're trying to be closed off.
Yeah.
Or at least in my experience, and I've read this in the book before, and I remember I was like, whoa, a lot of times Aquarians, we are living in like a dual reality. So it's like, it's almost like split screen. You got the real world, and then like me constantly daydreaming. And just like all these other things going on at the same time. So sometimes it's like, yeah, bitch, I'm walking down the street and it seems like I'm present, but it's just like you walk down the street every day. That's all stored back here.
Yeah.
So I'm not even thinking about it. And then actively in my frontal cortex, I'm just like daydreaming about so many things. And so for some people, it can feel like I'm standoffish or maybe even not present, but that's just because I got a whole bunch of shit going on up here. And it's harmless. Baby, I'm like thinking about like, what if I put those boots with that one dress?
Wow,
and then sometimes there'll be something I'm gonna be like, wow, I wonder how soft Beyonce's rugs are.
Oh, well, I will tell you,
really
they're so much softer than my rug.
Girl, yeah, I know it because I don't know why. I was just laying on my rug once and I was like, I bet Beyonce got really soft rugs.
I bet you they have to replace her rug every day. They're like,
Oh,
she stepped on this one.
They're like,
She's the only person that can actually own a white couch and nothing get dirty on it. Like that's actual wealth.
But I'm kind of curious, not to like stir too much shit, because like I already know it's been talked about, but a lot of it feels like a lot of what you were saying is like the flip side. Like a lot of how you experience the world is the flip side of what has been thrown around, like what your former daughters have like called you. I'm very curious. Like, how do you see that with them essentially like calling you all the derogatory versions of a daydreamer? They're like, yeah, that bitch is selfish.
I had to do a lot of reflection on that. And this is where I'm at with that. I have to give them space to have their experience. In my experience with them, for me, what my intention was with them truly was to be a mentor, to help them, to be somebody that they could come to for advice about drag, about their careers, you know? And their experience was not that.
Yeah.
And I think about it like this. It's like you're going on a walk in the park with your friend, and you're like, oh my God, look at this beautiful green grass. But your friend has red-green color blindness. So they're seeing red grass. Now, even though everybody else around is having that experience, they're seeing that red grass. That's not untrue. That is what they're experiencing, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of like go back and like truly reflect on our time together, our experiences together. And for me, it wasn't all bad. I have some really fond memories with those girls.
Of course.
And it was sad and like hurtful to see the things that they said, to see the way that they felt about me as like someone who is like selfish and a narcissist and someone who treated them like slaves or whatever. And like, for instance, I could see where you're like, oh my God, she asked me to take her to the hair store. Well, that used to be a bonding experience between me and my mom. Like we would love to go to the hair store together. We would love to like pick out things and just talk. And that's what we would do, you know, and we would go and we'd like grab our little things, you know, we'd get it and stuff. And it's just like, I'd pick up the tab because you drove me, like I got all your supplies, girl. And, and to me, that felt like a bonding experience, but to her, it felt like I was just asking her to run me an errand. You know?
Well, and that's where I wonder, as a fan looking into the drag world, right? I don't know the history of, and if it's connected to ballroom culture, but like a house, right? There's a house mother. And like, I know as Drag Race has evolved and expanded, they've talked about drag mothers and your drag kids and the drag legacy, right? Or the, and I the lineage. And I guess I wondered, is being a drag mother now just an aesthetics thing, or is it actually something that is like, if I'm your mother, I'm helping you build? Like, how do you define being a drag mother now, and has it shifted?
I would say, I would hope that, you know, it would be a foundation where you can help them build. And I think in their experience that it was just for aesthetics. I think they felt like I collected them to be like, I have these daughters, but just for the image of doing that. And that's something that I can fully accept.
But you don't agree with.
Yeah. You're like, a little bit. You're like, yeah, bitch, that's why I chose you, because you're pretty.
Well, yeah, and I wanted because I was like, hopefully by like aligning with me, that can provide opportunities and doors to be opened for you. And I know they say that they never experienced any sort of doors or opportunities for them being opened on behalf of, being my drag daughter. But what I will say is, there was a lot of conversations in rooms that they weren't in which I was really building them up and speaking highly of them and saying, hey, if you need somebody for this opportunity or that opportunity, Chloe, Bambi, Kinsey, they're incredible, and I don't have to run back to someone and be like, hey, just so you know, I recommend it. That's just something that I do for friends in general.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's an opportunity, and I'm like, I think of you, there's sometimes where people will bring me opportunities and I'm like, you know what? This is cute, but I actually don't think I'm the best girl for this job.
Yeah.
But I actually think this person will give you exactly what you need.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel like that's exactly why I don't think drag family is at least what it was supposed to be when I was coming up. I purposefully did not join any families. There were a couple queens around Denver who I loved and some who I'd tolerated.
Yeah.
who had asked me, and I don't know, it just didn't feel right because I feel like the idea of what queer family is needed to be a lot less associated with somebody who is gonna give me opportunities. That's obviously a part of us hanging out.
Yeah,
I pushed Willow's name for years. And it wasn't until we said that we were lovers / sisters / daughter, mother, uncles that they ever took me seriously.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. They have never asked me not once.
They only asked me the first year. The
and girls
first
be like, oh
year.
yeah, they were asking me for who to recommend. I was like,
why are you asking this crusty ass bitch? What, how many times did she make it out past the pork chop lounge?
Right. But I think too, when it comes to drag families and also expectation, because I didn't have a drag mother, so I didn't have a blueprint. I was just making it up as I went.
Yeah.
And I think too, also upon reflecting and I'm just trying to, piece together where we could have gotten misaligned. And I think, and like I said, I think and I feel, because these are not facts, it's just my experience. When I first approached Kinsey and I had met in the club. We had this fun relationship. She was a fashion student. Her roommate was friends with my partner. We would work on things. We would sew. We would watch Real Housewives, and we would key. You know what I'm saying? It was, we were keying. We were hanging out. It was a really good friendship, and I was just I just think that this girl is just so precious. I love her fashion references. I love that we love and understand some of the same designers. And I was just I really want to be able to pour into her. And so I asked her to be my drag daughter. And then I would say was this was either, no, I asked her right before getting cast on season 9. I had done this program where I was a costume designer for this kids theater out in Wyoming. And then I got back and I had 2 weeks to prepare. And then that process, I was just I really want you to be my drag daughter. And I sold her on. It was just because I'm I'm about to be on Drag Race. So obviously that could be an amazing opportunity for you too. And it's I came back after filming, everything's good. We're chilling. And then, comes time for the cast announcement, and it's my dad passes away.
Oh, wow.
And so I was okay, wow, because this was 2 days before the cast announcement happened. So it was just the craziness of both trying to plan a funeral and be oh my God, you guys, I'm on the next season of
congratulations, tune in on Fridays.
Right. And then
on top
it was
of everything else that was happening in life.
And then a month later, my sister died of breast cancer. And literally had to fly from the funeral to do press in New York. And then it was from that moment, in March, it was just like I was literally on the road until the end of the year. I was booked solid. And so I was gone, I was gone. And I had, made this commitment being like, I'm going to pour into you and I'm going to be your drag mom. And then for 10 months out of the year, barely even saw her.
I would assume there's also an assumption of like, you just, I think, did a really great job of explaining, like, people think as soon as it hits, the cast announcement happens and everybody, like, the followers go up and you're busy and you're working and the fame has risen, that you automatically know what you're doing.
Girl.
And it sounds like you were really adapting in real time. And unfortunately, like, things fall to the side. Things get sacrificed in that process, unfortunately, is what that I'm hearing.
Baby, I was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Dear life. It's just like, bus, club, another club, another club, another club, another club. Meanwhile, I'm like crying myself to sleep every night, just really going through it, like dealing with such deep grief, because I was like, those two, because also my dad and my sister were, no joke, the two people that I wanted to see me on Drag Race the most. Like when I had dreamt about the whole thing of like Drag Race, I was like, the two people that I want, because Ayana introduced me to RuPaul when I was a little baby. She knew what the tea was. She's like, watch this. And my dad, he, like, one thing that we always bonded on, TV and film. Like, he loved to take me to the movies. Like, that would be like our thing. And like, even when I came back from filming, he was like, oh, I'm so excited. He was like, you made it to the finals. Like, oh my God. He was so excited. And so it was just like, it was, unbelievably excruciating. And it was really, really hard. And so, looking back, I was like, obviously I really didn't have the capacity to pour into her the way that she deserved. And so I think, for me, like a year later, I'm, it's still kind of crazy. I'd gone out in the scene and I'd seen Bambi performing, and I was just like, oh my God. I was like, she is so fierce and she really reminds me of myself. It's kind of crazy because people are like, oh, this girl reminds us of you. And I was like, oh, there's a new black girl on the scene. She reminds me of you.
Right.
And then I saw her and I was like, okay, well.
Okay. I get you.
Actually make some points.
You guys get one.
Well, do you want to redo? Do you still believe in...
Is your womb still open?
Yeah. Do you still believe in the chosen family for drag?
Here's the thing. I think it would be different if we had all kind of like collectively come together as a house before me getting on Drag Race. Mm-hmm. Because I also feel like in Bambi and in Chloe's experiences, they didn't know me prior to the world of Drag Race. And I feel like they really didn't have the opportunity to just like
get to
know me and meet me as a human.
Yeah.
Even though we tried, like we really tried, like, family dinners, I'd have them over and I would cook for them and everything, just so, play card games, go on trips. They came to my childhood home for like Thanksgiving. I wanted to build this relationship, but I don't know if they were ever able to really see me as like me outside of that Black excellence entity. And I think it goes back to that feeling of like we're standoffish. I always told them, I was like, if you ever need anything, if you ever have a question, like just come to me. Just come to me, and if there was any time they asked me for something, girl, I need this, I was always like, come over to my house and get it. Or you need me to come yes, I'll come there and I'll do it. And I think pieces of them really wanted me to be more of a self-starter and take the initiative and be like, where is a place where I can kind of come in and like fill the void? But I'm not that kind of person. I don't really, there's also a lot going on. Also, I'm an Aquarius, so if you come to me and you ask me about something and you need something, I'm going to be there for you, And there's nothing, and this is something that I've learned in my adult life, asking for help. Because I'm a fiercely independent person too, but asking for help is a really great skill to learn as well.
I mean, that's the one I struggle with the most for sure. Which is why like the idea of, it's kind of funny, you said this earlier on, but the idea of drag children for me, even though I literally have never actually taken one on. And never will. Nobody's getting the Oddly name. That's a terrible joke clown name, bitch. Like, I don't even sound good. Yeah, because I sound good with it.
Named Stevie, please.
Oh, Stevie. Oh, my God. That's so cute.
No,
a drag king named Stevie.
He can be Norman. just because of that. But, like, I don't know. There is this experience where I'm kind of curious because you talk about how, you know, your experience with Kenzie at least got to start before the shenanigans of it all. Your breakup with your daughters actually reminds me of like the breakup I had to do with my friends who helped me get on Drag Race, like slash my roommates. Like where there was sort of this promise beforehand because we had all poured in and like in that year, I really did try my hardest to like give them everything, like, you know, to an extent. My money was theirs. My wardrobe was definitely whatever they wanted. Like everything, rent was paid, and still, even like breaking up with them, there was this difficulty because I do feel like a part of you has to accept that we are all selfish creatures. And also that no matter how hard you try, you can't like buddy nudge like force your friends to have the same experiences as you, to like get the same out of life, or even to understand what it is you're going through, even if they're stuck on your shoulder at every nightclub. So like I think it's interesting that you perceive those experiences so differently, because after I broke up with my roommate friends, I mean, like, we've patched things up. I'm actually roommates with one again. Thank you.
Well, see? That's what I'm talking about. There's like, always a reconciliation.
In some way. But after that, I like made it very, very clear to every little faggot and faglet out there and fag them that no, I'm not going to be your mom. I think it's a fake ass system. Like all it means in this world for real is like, can I get something from you? And I'm like, girl, you can get something from me if you can give something to me. Like I've been working with this assistant, Saline, who I stole from another drag queen I like who's her real mom, another 2 or 3. But this bitch is such a key, and she can get some done. And if it were the old drag days, I'd be like, drop all your other names and become Oddly.
Right.
But instead, I'm like, do you want opportunities and a paycheck?
Yeah.
I guess, I think like with any family mess and drama, it's there. I hope there's still a door that is open for you all to talk about and have like a real conversation, because the internet games just feels like everyone in eyeballs is just pouring into it.
I had really hoped that it wouldn't have gone down publicly on the internet the way that it did, because I like to keep my personal life off the internet, because I don't need everybody talking about it. But I am low-key grateful for them calling me out the way that they did, because as much as like at first I was just like, bitch, what the fuck they talking about? This bitch is fucking crazy. The fuck? Narcissist. Bitch is psychosis, abusive. But then I was just like, okay, I like had to, like when I tell you I had to reflect, bitch, I had to reflect. Because it's so easy when you're doing reflection to like always kind of do things from your point of view. You can, there's blind spots everywhere. I had to really try to like turn it around and like look at myself from like their viewpoint and like their perspective, really exercise my empathy. Like that empathy muscle was working.
Strong.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I can understand why they feel hurt. I can understand why they feel disappointed. And I can understand why that led to some of the resentments and tensions. I just wish we would have been able to have a conversation.
Have you apologized?
No, and I need to. I do need to. And I should probably, when does this episode come out?
It's coming out soon.
Well, then I need to do that toot sweet. So it doesn't feel like, so it ain't like, oh, she apologizing to me on the internet.
No, that's real.
HighKey, bringing families together.
I mean, granted, I'm gonna figure out how to do that because I am blocked.
I can do it.
I'm
Just
gonna figure out how to get in touch with
just so we're clear, I can pass any messages to your daughters because I've met all of them. I love them, and I want you to know I am team all of them.
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna write a beautiful. Wait a second. What you trying?
I said you better catch it, clock it.
Yeah, no, wait. Because I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm team all of them too. I want them to succeed too.
I love you.
And then I was like, wait, but who's their opposition?
Well, and it seems like you're learning a lot about yourself at this time and in this moment. I guess, what else are you learning that is propelling you forward into this like work and art that you're doing that is like all Shea Couleé right now? What's next?
I think luckily having like a little bit of a scandal has helped me to be like, okay, you know, you try and uphold this idea of being excellent and perfect, and then people get on the internet and they call you a crazy
Everything
bitch.
else.
And like, you know what I'm saying?
And
then,
trust me, the scandal could have been worse. You could have been like Bob and getting accused of race play.
right?
Which will never die.
It could have been worse.
It
Just
could have been, you know? And so for me, that was like, in my mind, like worst case scenario, when I was like thinking about like, when I was like reaching my limit of being like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I could be this mother of this house anymore. And like, this is not sustainable. You know, I was just all like, I know I'm going to be made out to be the villain. But in my mind, I was just like, you know, they're going to talk to everyone in the community and tell them how awful I am. And then it like reached the internet. And then like them and Gay Times are all like, Shay's daughters disown her, blah, 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 blah. And
that's how I found it.
I
was just like, oh,
I was shocked that it hit the press that quick.
I was like, oh, it's a slow news cycle.
I know, slow news cycle. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be that interested. And also, I was like, please pick a less sweaty photo of me.
Girl, no, they
If
did
you
that
gonna
shit on
drag me,
purpose.
Please pick a good picture, please.
That's why I'm glad.
They're never going to pick a good picture in the moment for you.
That's why I'm glad all of my fake children quit.
Stop going to Sweaty Getty.
Girl, I love it. Get me greasy, make me look moisturized. It's better than all my ashy ass photos.
But that was like beyond my worst case scenario, and I survived it. And it allowed me, with people on the internet being like, see, I knew it.
Yeah.
She's not perfect. I fucking knew it. She's a fucking bitch.
But you know what's fun about that is that literally only ever sticks until the next scandal, baby.
I know.
Yeah.
So for me, it kind of like, now that I'm on the other side, I'm like, okay. I don't have to worry about trying to like uphold any sort of perfect persona because people are already like, cracks in the foundation.
Yeah. Throw that perfection out the damn window, sis.
Yeah,
Y'all
so
heard
it has
here.
been liberating in that sense, and it's allowing me to just kind of like look at my work now with a little bit more of a playful lens instead of being so serious about it. Because now I'm like, girl, I just feel much more free to openly and publicly make mistakes or do things that aren't perfect and do things that, you know, are weird or off or, you know, whatever. It gives me the freedom to show more parts of myself than just like the polished, excellent parts.
Yeah.
You know?
With a completely unbiased lens, I would like to say I'm so excited to see you as Miss Shea Couleé.
Yes.
Yvie, that's a great alter ego to
I am on fire.
That's
okay,
so good.
Yes, I love Shea Couleé.
I am asking for like either 5% or to be your daughter though. Just so we're clear.
Please.
Okay. Wait. We always ask our guests. We always ask our guests before they go.
You were taken over by the spirit of Camila Cabello.
Apparently. Guests. Okay. We always ask our guests, what are you HighKey about? I know I don't have to like explain to you like what it means to be HighKey. So legit, what are you HighKey about right now?
I'm HighKey about not spending any money with any fucking corporations this holiday season. Bitch. The wallet closed. Fuck all y'all. fuck all y'all. I am not, girl, I am saving my money.
Girl.
Girl.
You better make gifts yourself. Y'all are make it a unconventional challenge, bitch, and make some shit.
I literally was talking to my mama earlier today because she knows I really do. I love to be a gift giver. I love to be like very generous in the holidays. And I told her, I was just like, just so you know, I'm not doing it this year.
Yeah.
I was like, we have to focus on other things besides consumerism. And I was like, you want to know what everyone's getting from me this year? A really lovely, heartfelt letter.
Oh, I actually really love that. My mom has been telling me to send her give her more cards and things like that. Because I feel like for her birthday or for holidays, I always get gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But she just keeps saying I just want a card where you write in it and tell me how much you love her.
My mom loves that. I do that for my mom all the time. She is, because she saves them all. And, I make sure I date it, the year and everything, so she knows which Christmas it is. She does the same for, all of us kids. And, I will get a blank card so I can make sure I write something really lovely on, both of the pages. And then I keep all my cards from her. And then I also keep all my cards that I get from people. I have a big box. It's this big floral box just full of cards. And then I'll collect some and go to put it in there, and then occasionally you go through it and then you're like, oh wait, what was this, who is this from? And then you start going, it's just, I don't know, it's lovely. I love to keep my cards, and I throw away a lot of shit because I get a lot of junk. But the cards I do keep.
Oh, bitch.
No,
the junk is the only thing I keep.
I just want to say it's so great having you on the show. Hopefully you come back, and thank you for being so honest and vulnerable about all of this shit that's happening in your life right now. Because I know it's probably really annoying talking about it and having to deal with it. It's fun and games when you work through the shit, but in real time, that's stress. That is not, it's knots in your stomach. It doesn't feel good, I would assume. And so thank you for always being honest. And it's a first step into the messiness.
Yes, it's honestly, it's freeing to be honest. It's freeing to really take the opportunity to reflect and acknowledge that you make mistakes, because none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. You hear that, internet?
I was gonna say,
Stop.
you hear that, internet? Okay, Doug, I would like to take this time to apologize for breaking your glasses on camera.
Sorry, Doug.
Not you, not that big fat ass just broke it.
Sad.
It was actually my head.
Butt cheeks just
my head, they snapped earlier off my head. I was
it was the one you were wearing?
Is my ego getting bigger?
Oh my God. All right, y'all. We'll be back with our high keys of the week. High key. Okay, so Shea was absolutely iconic. I'm so happy. I've talked about how, and I feel like, I don't know if people think that I'm just blowing smoke up y'all's asses when I say this, but I feel like I have talked to one, I work with you, 3 of my favorite all-time drag race queens, right? You, Shea Couleé, Bob. The last one for me is for sure Monet. And
it's
Jada
a trip
Essence
though, girl. I still get flashes where I'm in the body of my younger self, and I remember just seeing these bitches on the TV, and then I remember my first times getting to be around them, getting to work with these girls.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I really got to make, at least in my mind, make an impression with Shea Couleé was when our club brought her in for a smaller night, the year before I got on Drag Race. And I was one of the only queens who performed. I think I was the only queen who performed. I opened for her essentially. And for some reason, that was the first time I ever served cunt. And she was like, you look cunt.
She was like, yeah, I just gave you the seal of approval of cunt.
Uh-huh.
No, that's so interesting. Because I'm assuming when you watched her, was that you were probably already thinking about or already auditioning for Drag Race at that point? Or
I feel like that was the first season I auditioned for, because I did it 3 times, and so it had to be 9, 10, 11.
Yeah. And so when you saw someone like a Shea Couleé and everything that she kind of existed, you were just work, I'm not going to be that at all if I get on this show.
It's so funny because that is exactly what the fuck I thought. season 9 was my first time auditioning. I put out a tape where I was all like, yeah, my name's Yvie Oddly, and I'm from Denver, and I'm a weirdo. Ooh. And then I like watched Shea Couleé, who I'd already been following online, who already was that bitch in Chicago. I watched her on my TV and was like, I am so thankful they did not even look at my video, girl. Are you kidding me? I gotta do a little more work, diva.
And also, there's only one of Shea, and there's only one of you. And honestly, I like it that way because y'all give me exactly what I want from both of you.
It's kind of funny. Literally. I feel like we have an interesting dynamic because I feel like we take up similar spaces in the world. Like, I know some shady bitches in the comments are gonna roll their eyes so hard at this, but bitch, literally, I've always felt the weight of excellence. Like, that's where Yvie really stemmed from, was like having to live up to being either a doctor, lawyer, doing something with my smart ass brain so that my large ass family, who always loved and supported me, didn't waste all that love and support.
Yeah, like, weren't tragically disappointed in you.
Yeah, like I'd be like a good student, a good brother, a good son, nephew, uncle, a good black person, a good like straight person. And when I broke one of those, girl, the rest just tumbled out. So Yvie became my space for chaos. It was I think it's interesting working with her because I feel like we bring the same energy of the person who was always the only one in the room.
Yeah. I can't wait to have her on again because, you know, I want to dive more into that with you too, especially because I just feel like I want to get into some things with that, but we gotta get into our high keys. You want to go first? I have a high key I'm super excited about because I've been like talking about this damn movie and I want everyone to watch it.
Are we sharing the same high key?
I don't know. This would be crazy if we are because we didn't talk about it before. What's your high key?
Okay, so my high key this week is The Longest Road.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not watching them kids get shot. I'm not watching them kids walk down the road and get shot in the back.
Okay, so
absolutely not.
You know what's wild is that was literally the words out of my mouth, my reaction when I was in the movies and the trailer came on. Like, Doug and I always do this thing where we're like thumbs up or thumbs down. And the second I saw like the first Stephen King novel ever, it's The Longest Road. It's about these kids who are definitely just going to walk down a road and get shot. Bitch, literally the exact words.
Like, I don't want to watch that.
Somehow I got tricked into going still because my FOMO is stronger than my memory. But I am so thankful I did because for me, it put this like cap on storytelling, focusing on Black experiences this year. Like, Sinners was my favorite. And then One Battle After Another came out. And I was like, damn, that has such deep, complex things to say. And for me, this completes the trilogy, even though One Battle After Another is still my favorite movie of the year.
I mean, it's, yeah. Well, let's
bitch,
not go
when
there
I
again.
tell you, I deep cried. I cried like my mom was dead in my hands cried.
Really?
Like, it is painful because obviously, you know, you're just going to watch a bunch of kids get shot. But the kind of humanity I saw in there explored such interesting ways of relating to your brothers, which I think is a big issue in America right now. So if y'all can't, like, go see the longest walk because it is not even a long movie. That's hot. 1 hour 48. Like, girl.
Well, that's why they were doing those activations where people were walking on treadmills while watching the film. Like, it was really interesting in the moment to see, but then also like, it's not something you want to watch, but like the metaphor is so beautiful. Yeah.
And honestly, it made me feel a little more hope in these times that are so purposefully hopeless.
Well, let me give you.
What's your HighKey?
Let me give you some on the other side of that, some iconic queer chaos. Hedda Tessa Thompson and Nia DaCosta's new film. It is absolutely incredible. So Nia DaCosta, who did oh my God, what is the films that she did? She did Little Woods with Tessa Thompson. She did Marvel. She has a long list of films that she just like iconically just has been really great as a director.
Bitches.
But she reimagined a play by Henrik Isben named Hedda, and Tessa Thompson plays Hedda, and it's just so good. It's on Amazon Prime. It's about this like Black, like biracial woman in the 1950s Europe, and she's like having this large party to place herself in society because she is married to this man who is trying to become a professor, and she is just someone that is obviously queer, but she is choosing violence and chaos and herself through this entire film, and you just get to see this in a really wonderful way. And it's a little artsy-fartsy, but I've seen it twice now, and I actually really had an incredible time. Tessa Thompson deserves all the things. She's such a brilliant actress.
I agree.
I've loved her for so long, and I don't think she's gotten enough. And so I implore everyone, please watch Hedda. It's so good. And girl, the way that y'all go up for Megan and a white little blonde robot, this is honestly when we're talking about
Megan.
queer yes, it's like our queer representation of the year. Like there's not a ton going on this year. Hedda is that girl, and honestly, I'm HighKey about it. I'm obsessed.
Y'all go to the movies. We're HighKey about movies.
I know. Well, that was a great show today. I'm so happy that we got to talk to Shea. We got to talk about our HighKeys, and I got to see you again. I mean, because you were gone for so long.
I know. My bad. I'll never leave again.
Please don't. Until next time, though, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We're posting over there. Literally, we're probably lurking in the comments. I'm probably watching everyone drag Yvie for something she said.
Yeah, get me. Cancel me, daddy. Ooh.
So follow us at HighKey here on socials. And of course, don't forget to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to your podcast. Leave a review. Let us know what you're thinking about, in the show in real time. Let us know your comments. We need the love.
If you say some really, really wild shit, not only will I respond, but I'll try and read it backwards on the next episode.
Oh, reading it backwards. Okay. It's going to sound like you're reciting a spell of some kind.
I know, right? That's some satanic shit.
Oh my God. Oh, also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube. That's our housekeeping rules. Just have a good time while you're listening to the show, and do us a solid and a favor and let us know how you're enjoying it. That's all we ask for. It's really that simple. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.